Today is Thursday, Parashat Be'alotecha. The parasha of this week includes in it the idea of Pesach Sheni. What happened is there were some people that were not able to eat from the Korban Pesach because they were ritually impure. And they came to Moshe and said, Lama nigara, why should we be missing this mitzvah? So by way of introduction, there are 613 mitzvot in the Torah. There are 248 mitzvot aseh, positive commandments, and there are 365 mitzvot lot aseh, negative commandments. The 248 positive commandments, which means do, fulfill this mitzvah, all those 248 parallel the 248 limbs in the body. The 365 mitzvot lot aseh, which means don't do, those parallel the 365 sinews in our body. But it's not just a physical parallel. There is a spiritual parallel between the mitzvah and the limb or the sinews that correspond to them. Now, when these people were not able to eat from the Korban Pesach because they were ritually impure, according to the Sforno, they actually were involved in a mitzvah, in another mitzvah. They were carrying the Aron of Yosef HaTzadik that was carried from Egypt all the way to be buried in Shechem. So they were carrying it in the desert, or maybe they found a met mitzvah, somebody needed to be buried, and they took care of him. And since they were involved in the mitzvah, Pirkei Avot say the one who's, or in general, as a concept, the mitzvah goreret mitzvah. One mitzvah brings another mitzvah. So how could they be? They felt that they were not satisfied with the fact that they could not fulfill this, but they had such a great desire to do the mitzvah Korban Pesach, but they were not able to. So they came to Moshe and they said, Lama nigara, we really want to fulfill this mitzvah. Well, Hashem gave them the opportunity to do so by doing it on Pesach Sheni, which is 30 days after Pesach. They were given a second chance to do the mitzvah. That's an incredible idea to have in mind. If you really desire to do a mitzvah, and if you really value the mitzvah, that if you missed out an opportunity to do a mitzvah, and you really long for doing it, and you really are sorry that we're not able to do it, then Hashem will give you the opportunity to do the mitzvah at another time. And the idea of valuing mitzvot is so important. In this case, they felt so sorry because as if they were lacking something. Because if every mitzvah corresponds to a limb or sinew in the body, and not just physically but also spiritually, we really want to fulfill as many mitzvot as possible. And the idea of Pesach Sheni is you get a second chance if you really desire it. And it's not just about a mitzvah, even about teshuvah in general. If a person did not do the right thing at some time in the past, you get a second chance just by even realizing that whatever was done was wrong and then doing teshuvah. Hashem accepts your teshuvah. You're able to change the past and He gives you a chance to clean the slate. Well, that's one of the great kindnesses of Hashem. Baruch Adonai le'olam, amen ve'amen.